Welcome back to the Boondocks Homestead, y'all. I'm glad you're back, and if this is your first time to our channel, I'm so glad you're here. Well, this is the same day that I'm making my sun-dried tomato bread, but I'm also going to do some tomato soup. So I wanted to make a video of that while I'm going through that. I might as well. I'm right here in the middle of it. So what I've done is I have a lot of Romas, and Romas, as I've told you in the other videos, are a good paste and sauce tomato. There's not a lot of water. It's meatier, and it makes your stuff a little thicker. But I've also got a lot of the juicy ones, the ones that have a lot of water, that I'm mixing with it because I'm making tomato soup. Okay? So let me get you down here for a minute, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing this and what I'm doing. Now, I'm going out of my ball book. I've never made tomato soup. Can you even imagine that? I haven't. And so it's called Vine Fresh Tomato Soup. So I took 12 to 14 pounds. I got a little over 14 pounds, which is not going to hurt anything. I washed and rinsed all my tomatoes, and then I'm removing the core and the blossom ends. I'm cutting these tomatoes in quarters. So when they say that, what you do is, I've been using this, it's a little sharper. You just cut it 4 times. Four quarters in a buck, right? So you cut it 4 times, and then you want to get that middle stem off there. And then I'm putting them in a saucepan, a heavy bottom saucepan. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all these. There's one I missed. And then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Because we're going to add some bell pepper, some onion, some garlic, and some other stuff we're going to add in this saucepan when we cook these. And we've also got to get our food mill out because we're going to get the skins and the seeds out of here. We don't want that in our tomato soup, right? So while I'm doing the bread's rising right now. I'm making sun-dried tomato bread. Well, then I figured I would go ahead and do this tomato soup while I'm over here in the bread shed and get it done. Okay? So when I get all this done, I'll bring you back and we'll move on to the next step. So don't go nowhere. All right, so I've got my tomatoes in my heavy bottom saucepan, and they're over on low heat right now until I get this done. So you're going to take 1 medium red bell pepper. Okay, I'm going to put this recipe in the video, underneath the video. You're going to take the seeds out of these. Now I said 1 medium bell pepper. I didn't grow any bell peppers this year, so I went and bought them from the store. So about 3 of these is probably 1 medium. So that's what I had to do. You may have one out of the garden. I just did green out of the garden this year. I didn't do red. And I usually don't leave them. I get too anxious and not patient, and I don't leave them until they turn anyway. So much for that, right? Make sure you get them seeds out. They're just flying everywhere. They're just everywhere. They're everywhere. Okay, we'll put them off to the side there. Then you're going to cut these. I just cut them down a little bit so I can get my chopper over them. I'm going to chop these up real quick. I won't keep you on here for that. I'm going to cut this little knife's sharp. I cut my thumb on it, but it's working good, so I need to sharpen my other ones. Now I'm going to cut these where they'll go in the thing, and we'll get them cut up. Okay, so I got my onions over here, got them done. This is garlic out of my garden, and yes, I picked it too early. So again, it calls for 2 cloves. The recipe does. The end is hard to cut off there. I'm going to get 1, 2. I'm just going to use all this because that probably adds up to 2 cloves. Okay. And I've got a nifty little gadget from Pampered Chef, but we're not going to use it because it's just sometimes when I'm in a hurry, it's just easier to do it this way. Right? And just peel that off of there. Sometimes I don't get it good enough. You got to crunch it again. Oh my goodness. That's probably 2 cloves right there. So, get this back. All right. Now, we're going to use about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay. So we're going to do the onion and the garlic in here. Yeah, I got a scraper too that picks up all this, or I could use my knife. Sometimes it's just as well to use what God gave you, your hands. Best tools you got, y'all, your hands. I'm going to take this over the stove and I'm going to saute it. All right. The granddaughter that I'm making this for bought me this, and I use it all the time. So, we're just going to saute these onions and garlic until the onions are translucent, okay? All right, I think they're translucent, so I'm going to put them over into my tomatoes. Wish I had just a little bit bigger pan here, but I think it's going to work out. I think it'll be just fine. Turn that off for a minute. We're going to put the peppers in. I'm going to put this over on the fire. We're going to put the bell peppers in. Okay, and then I'm going to take 1/4 cup of this, which I think, we'll just measure it. It calls for 1/4 of tomato paste, which I had some frozen tomato paste, and I couldn't find it, and I wasn't going to dig through my, it was out of the tomato paste I made. I wanted to use it, but I couldn't find it, so we're just going to use this. So 1/2 of a can, that's what I wanted to see. 1/2 of a can of tomato paste, okay? It's 1/4 of a cup. I'm gonna go a little bit more. You guys don't have to if you don't want to. I'm gonna go a little bit more and put that in there. Okay. All right. Where did my sugar go? It takes a tablespoon of sugar. Okay. That's all I'm going to put too on that one. Okay, we're going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to turn it all the way up and high. We're going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to simmer until it thickens, which is, it says about 30 minutes. I'm going to kind of mix all that in there a little bit. Okay, so we'll just let this boil, and then we'll let it turn the heat down just a little bit, and then I'll simmer it until it thickens a little, and then I'll bring you back, okay? All right, now, these have went almost 30 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my immersion blender. If you don't have an immersion blender, again, don't panic. It'll be okay. Get a food mill. If you got a food mill, you could use a mixer maybe. And I'm just going to chop all this up in here. Because we're going to strain this in a minute. Okay. I'm getting this everywhere. See all that skin? I'm going to put that right there. Now, there's still going to be a bunch more in there. See how thick that is? That's going to be wonderful. Okay, we're going to put this through a strainer, but I'll be right back. I got to put my bread in the oven, okay? I'll be right back. All right. Let's get this going. I've just got a mesh strainer I'm going to use. You could use, what that is. Nothing. You can use cheesecloth if you want. I just want something to catch. Look at that big tomato. We're going to squish him. I just want something to catch those seeds. Okay, and that skin. And I've got a bowl right here. I got started to throw that in there. See all that? We don't want that in our soup. Okay. And just go back and forth and do this until you get the whole pot done, okay? Or use your food mill. You can do that too. And I just don't feel like getting it out, y'all. I'm just taking the easy route here right now. When I get this pan done, I'll be right back with you. All right, I got all this strained. Here's how much seeds and skin I had. I have a little bit liquid in there, but not much. So I'm going to put it to the side. I'm going to pour this back into my heavy bottom pan. Try to, gently. So we're going to do a tablespoon of salt. Let me show here. Tablespoon of salt. And a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to put this back on the stove. Now I've got this on medium heat, and we're just going to simmer this for about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. We're going to let this simmer, and you got to stir often so it don't stick. But make sure you got a heavy bottom pan, okay? All right, I'll bring you back when it's done, y'all. So I got the bread done, and I'm going to keep this bread, and I'm going to give this bread to my granddaughter. And I canned 7 pints of tomato soup for her. So I'm pretty excited. I just called her. I said, you got to come over. And so she's not coming over till tomorrow. But anyway, I'm going to pour a little bit of this in here. I haven't had no lunch. I worked straight through it. Didn't even worry about it. And we're going to try this tomato soup and this bread. So I'm probably going to put this on both videos, my bread video and my soup video, okay? So when you watch it, you're going to be like, that was on the other video. Yes, it was. I'm tired. I'm tired. And it's, I made both of these the same day. I want you to look at that. Now, this is a small loaf of bread. That big one's going to be like bread, like a loaf of bread. This is just a small one. And look, it's so soft. I can't tell you how soft this is. Y'all have to make some of this. You have to make some. If you want to put a little wheat in it, you can put a little wheat in it too. I'm going to eat this end. Let me cut it again in half. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Now, you can make grilled cheese out of this, and that makes it even better. But there's cheese in it. You've seen. You guys have to try this. And here's my tomato soup. This does not taste like store-bought, okay? It does not. So much better. All right, I'm going to finish this up. I got I'm water bathing her tomato soup. I didn't take you through that. It's just, it water baths for 40 minutes, okay? Inch and a half, or a half an inch headspace. And then you're going to water bath it after you bring it to a boil. Boil it 40 minutes and you're good to go. It's shelf stable, okay? Check your seals after 12 hours. Check your seals. And then if some of them didn't seal, get them in the refrigerator. If not, put them on the shelf, okay? I love y'all. This has been fun. I'm exhausted. I'm going to sit here and eat this. It's almost dinner time. Tim's going to be like, why are you not eating dinner? I'm going to be like, because I was starving and I needed to eat. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I love y'all. Lord willing, I'll catch you on the next video.